Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Women for Empowerment. So, we have a special guest, Zara, and as always, my co host, Tom, with me.
Thank you, Abhijit. Welcome, Zara. Could you maybe share with the LinkedIn family a bit about yourself and what you're currently doing?
Hello all, I'm Zara. First of all, I'm a proud mom and a wife. And then I'm an entrepreneur, CEO and founder of EGS Company, an innovative knowledge-based company mainly working with infrastructural solutions and softwares in tourism and transportation industry, which we newly also entered fintech and smart city solutions. And at the same time, I'm also a business coach and mentor to innovative and knowledge-based startups and newly established companies globally, all around the world, and a public speaker.
Wow.
Yes. That's amazing. So Zara, then can you share some highlights on how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Wow, entrepreneurship. I think, to tell you the truth, I think I was meant for it. I started my first business at the age of 7 without my parents knowing about it, of course.
Okay.
I used to sell the chewing gum surprise picture of football players and cars to the boys in neighborhood. So, yeah, but how I got into entrepreneurship in professional world, for me is a different story because I really was forced into it, and it all happened because of a limitation. I was a oil and gas field engineer.
Okay.
And I worked in many countries around the world, like every other field engineer. And for some reason, for some family matters, I had to come back from UK to Iran. So basically me always doing tough jobs and not routine jobs and challenging jobs. I couldn't stand an 8 to 4 routine sort of job. And I also felt the empty slot of innovative services in Iran. So that's when I decided that I'm going to start my own business.
Wow. What were like the challenges you faced and how did you overcome those challenges?
For me, there have been 3 different set of challenges that I faced. The first one would be the general entrepreneurship challenges that any entrepreneur would face anywhere in the world. The main one would be the general entrepreneurship challenges. If I want to talk about the main one would be definitely the team building. It was a tough job, and it is still, believe me. The team building, and then strategic decision making, fundraising, and financing, and stress and time management as an entrepreneur. Keeping the team motivated all the time, make sure that you're going towards your objectives and it's the right path. These were the main challenges that I faced as a general entrepreneur, but there were so many problems, such as the main ones to be a lack of enough and proper and efficient knowledge and education, and lack of qualified staff and expertise, lack of smart funds. The third category of challenges that I faced was being a female entrepreneur. Then, to tell you the truth, when I look at my history and what I've done so far, if I put my resume in front of anyone and not write my name or my gender, no one would definitely believe that this is a woman. Because I've always done tough jobs. Like as a field engineer, only 2-3% of field engineers in the world are female engineers. I had to go sometimes on offshore for weeks with hundreds of men and no other woman, females not being taken as serious as men. How I overcame these challenges are, first of all, I believed in my way and what I'm doing and myself. Secondly, I faced my fears. And thirdly, I was consistent, never gave up. Consistency is the key. Believe me, it really helps a lot. It's like the golden key to any door. At some point, I decided from now on, I'm not going to think I'm a woman, because as long as I think I'm a woman, unconsciously, I'm setting borders in my own brain, and I'm seeking help from other genders, men, or maybe some other women to be my voice. So I have to stop it at some time. So I stopped thinking that I'm a woman. Rather, I started thinking that I'm a human with different character and different abilities.
I had a couple of questions in mind, but you have already answered it, because I wanted to know what were your fears before getting into entrepreneurship, because that is something which I am very soon getting into. And then I also wanted to know your thoughts about diversity, inclusion, and equality. But you have answered all those questions.
That's about entrepreneurship. When you're an entrepreneur, you talk about everything in your work.
Wrap it all up into one. I think you gave us some really powerful answers, and I think already the story to me has been inspiring, so I'm pretty sure it will inspire others. Before we wrap up, if there's maybe anything you would like to add before we end it, or
face your fears, because when you face them, they're much way smaller than you made them so big in your brain. Wait for challenge, welcome challenges. Don't be afraid of them, because when you overcome them, you feel so powerful that you feel like you can conquer the world. That's how a human has to be, and that's how a human has to live.
That's a very strong finish.
Yeah.
Zara, really thank you taking the time for your powerful answers, really inspiring. And I want to ask the LinkedIn family to share some comments and start to collaborate with us on the post that's coming out. So
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.